Hey, welcome back to Native Eats. I was sitting around, it's mid-November, beginning of November-ish, and I'm thinking, what would be beneficial to offer beautiful people whom I love so much? And I thought to myself, dinner rolls. Because now, if you're gluten-free, you no longer have to pass up that Thanksgiving dinner roll anymore. Or if you just want to have dinner rolls any night, these are amazing and fairly simple. So I will see you guys back at the Native Eats kitchen. Hey guys, welcome back to Native Eats. So today is an ode to the holidays and anyone that wants good dinner rolls that is gluten-free. So today is gluten-free dinner rolls. We're just getting the water really hot, and you're gonna gather up 1.5 cups of really good water, and this is well water, and you want it to be warm. If you don't have really good water, get some really good water and just warm it on the burner. And get it to about 102 to 107. And that goes right into your mixer, your 1.5 cups. So you get your 1.5 cups of warm water, about 107. Now you're gonna put in about, and this is optional, but I really recommend that you use about 2 tablespoons of honey. Real quick with the honey. And we're going to add, we're gonna sprinkle it around, 3 teaspoons of yeast. And we're gonna let this sit for 7 minutes. So hit the timer and don't touch it at this point, leave it alone. And while that's rising and getting happy and fermenting, we're gonna go ahead and do the bread mixture. My usual suspects for bread are millet and tapioca. We're gonna do like a cup for a cup of everything except over here. We're gonna do a cup of this blend. And you couldn't just get a gluten-free flour blend to make dinner rolls, because you just won't end up with a good stretchy type of roll that you're looking for. It might be a little cakier. But today we're gonna use a cup of the gluten-free King Arthur's, which I love. We're gonna use a cup of the millet, a cup of the tapioca, a 3/4 cups of potato starch, and a 1/4 cup of cassava. I'm gonna show you a couple of the little tricks too, which are over here that I have, that I've learned in bread making, gluten-free bread making. 1 cup of millet, 1 cup of tap. You want 4 cups. We're gonna do 3/4 of this potato starch. And we're gonna do about a 1/4 cup of this cassava because it's really strong and I guess not necessarily flavor-wise, but it's very, very dry. Very, type of flour, very strong. We're gonna keep the tapioca out. Reserve your tapioca. You won't need any of the other flours. But the tapioca you're gonna reserve. Next, we need some salt. And we need about 1.5 teaspoons. You could use 2 at the risk of being maybe a little bit saltier. The secret weapon is psyllium husk. And psyllium husk is what gives it like that bread stretchy. What's so great about it is it's actually for your health. You could actually, eat this. It's good for your digestive tract. So we're at our stretch and our health kick. It's like a win-win. So we're gonna add 1.5 tablespoons to that. Now that we have all of our dry ingredients in and we have this lovely mixture activating over here and it looks really good, and it's time, it's 7 minutes, so it's time. And now you're good to add your eggs. So now you're gonna add your 2 eggs in. And I've had these out so they're at room temp. So we wanna just drop our 2 eggs in to the mix. And now that our eggs are in, we're just gonna stir this flour mixture in real quick. You don't need to be too precise about this. Here we go. We're going in. Yay! And this is where all the magic happens. You can crank it up a little bit so you can break those eggs down. You can take a look in there and see what we got. And it's starting to come together. So in gluten-free, with proofing, you can really quickly go like half a second too long. And then what happens is it poofs and falls and hot right away. And so I have found there's kind of like a happy medium and two ways to do it. One really good foolproof way is to just put it in the oven cold and start the oven. And then the other way is to, to let it proof for like maybe a minute or two and just really keep your eye on it. And I would recommend that with like a loaf of bread. I'm gonna scrape that. I recommend that you just kind of touch it and see how sticky it is. You don't want it to be too dry because, gluten-free cooking tends to be a mouthful of like grains. I think because it's slightly sticky but not too much, I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more of the cassava, only because I didn't put too much of it. And then I have tapioca over reserved for us, as I mentioned earlier, so that you can use that for your board. So I just added like a tablespoon in, and I'll just save that other little tablespoon in case I need it. Okay, so this looks really good. I remember before when I touched it, it like stuck to my hand. It's still sticky, but not sticky to like touch to the hand. So that's what you want for this dough. So I'm just gonna take this beautiful dough, put it out on my tapioca floured station. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this beautiful dough. These are beautiful dough. I'm gonna just take a little handful so I can have it over here for myself because I just don't feel like there's enough dough, or excuse me, flour. So as you can see, I have a couple of different options set up for us here. I have, if you wanna do some kind of like, I guess they're like little dinner rolls type, that pop up over here, cupcake types. And then I even got these little mini bunt pans for like holiday fun breads. And then for this pan, this is a safe way to go. If you're worried about things sticking during the holidays, and you should, because the last thing you want to do is have that in-law over and all your bread stuck to the pan. And so, so the safest way to go is this way. Put your parchment paper down. This is a Native Eats classic, parchment paper everything. You'll never go wrong and it won't stick. Yeah, I promise you it won't stick. We need about 3 different sort of like equal parts. That looks about good. I'll just take one over there. Love working with dough. So, now, let me just show you a trick to these other pans. Remember that I said aren't so safe sometimes. Just take your very good cooking spray. I prefer avocado or coconut. Liberally spray, even if it's a non-stick, which this is ceramic. These are ceramic coated. Get some good flour going on in there. Let's start off just kind of making a couple of these little breads here. You're just kind of like tucking them over, taking any of the folds, folding them in gently, and rolling it into a nice little ball. We need to make like a snake. Let's make like a little snaky poo. This might be a fat snake for this. Let's take some off. And then what we're gonna do is take our snake, fold it under, and just stick our snake in. Okay, so now, last we're gonna do just a really cool, just hand rolled, roll it out. Roll, 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 roll. So that's the little rolls. It's good to just shape them and get them nice and tight. And the sesame does tend to fall off a lot, so I'm leaning towards pressing it into these. Because it's this thing about sesame, when you work with it, you know how it is. It just, when you take your bread out, I find it just like falls off your bread. So unless you sort of like incorporate it into the dough, you just like spray these. Really good. And I'm gonna try to like press them in really well. And then turn that over. Just gonna allow them to keep rising nicely rather than drying up. There you go. I love these sprays. Now what we're gonna do is I think I'm gonna do a little cut on those for you. Like that. You don't have to do it like that. And then just like, and then like a there you go. So we're gonna go ahead and get these into a non-preheated oven. Okay, so these babies are almost ready. But get some butter melted because we're gonna brush these with some butter. I don't think they're quite ready. They need to be more brown. And as you can see, they haven't even really come up all the way to temp because we put them in a cold oven. So we did 11 minutes. So I'm gonna say let's add 4 minutes to that, totaling out at 15. These are done. They look so pretty. Oh, let me get some more butter. Let me get these out. And here's our little nests that we made. Our rolls. Our classic sesame rolls. And these are the ones we put the little cuts on. I'll show you a couple of these guys. Look at those. Dinner rolls, anyone? I mean, look at that. Ooh, so good. You can keep them like that. You can turn them over. So, the grand finale. Look at this beautiful roll right here. Look at them. They look chewy, right? You didn't mess up your gluten-free rolls. They're not dry and brittly, and they can handle, you know, like that. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Now you never have to worry. Now you never have to worry again about passing up dinner rolls. Like, subscribe, and comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time in the Native Eats kitchen.